Hi guys! Welcome to The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, Slurp Noodles, and Chat. I am, of course, the host, Jordan Ibakwe, and today my guest from Sydney, Australia is Miriam Nigra. She is the youngest award-winning director, actor, writer, and producer of the short film Neural Phantom and an upcoming film, of course, feature film Under Spotlights. Go check her out. She's amazing, incredible. She will rule the industry of directing. So please watch out for her. Whoever is watching, she is coming with heat. But please support her. Support this channel, of course, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, all the sorts. And just thank you for being here. And I cannot wait to hear her words today. But let's get into this interview. Miriam, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
I'd love to, and thank you so much for your kind words. It literally means the world to me. I think your introduction was perfect. So I am a filmmaker and actress from Sydney, New South Wales. I always have felt really drawn to storytelling, and the past few years I've really taken this little hobby and made it into a passion and taken so many creatives with me, and it's been a really fun journey, and I'm really excited to share it all with you today.
Yes, that's like just having passion is one thing. I don't know what anybody says. Young people are very ambitious, and this, especially this generation, we are just going for what we want whenever we want it, and that's always important. But we also have a lot of confidence. And I know being a director, being a film producer, just everything like that, you have to have a lot of confidence. And so I'm just curious to know what helped you build the confidence to step into both acting and directing at such a very young age?
So I can't really take full credit for my confidence because majority of it has been the people around me. So last year, I just kind of saw that in the film industry, especially where I live, it's so limited in terms of spaces for young people, genuine, real spaces for them to create and do what they love. And so after I made my short film, I had quite a few young filmmakers reach out to me and say I inspired them to make their own films and like tell their own stories, which like really, it's really special to be able to know that by something you were scared to do yourself, by putting yourself out there, you're helping others discover something they might have not even known existed. And
Right.
so I think just that support system that I found and connecting with other in like incredible creatives and watching what they're doing and knowing that by doing something you're afraid to do, you're helping someone also do that. I think that, and also just having a lot of passion. Like I've always known, no matter how much criticism I receive, no matter how much I doubt myself, at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love and with the people that I love.
Exactly. Like you said, having a very strong support system is very important. I feel like we are influenced by the people who are around us, and it's always very important that we have positive people who look to just build us up, to build our dreams and just ambitions and support us in what we do. Of course, we will be criticized. Of course, we will fall, but that should, in the end, teach us how to make any obstacle that comes, like, against us in the future much more easier to endure and also solve. And those as well, like you said, people who are there to like help us become wiser. And I love how you said like representation is very important, and you did not see much of that in a lot of the movies, especially in Australia where you're from. And of course we will get into that later into the interview. But you also talked about doubt, self-doubt, and that's very important to address, being that you are a director. And also just in general, for anyone who does have a dream, it's very important that we learn not to doubt ourselves and what we want to do. Because think about it, if we have a dream and we do it and it becomes successful, like, really, was it worth doubting ourselves in the beginning to like even start with? So I would love to introduce the question, like, were there any moments of self-doubt during your creative process, and how did you push through them?
1,000%. The biggest challenge for me was overall just finding that reason to keep going. Like there were times so with a movie you've got your pre-production, production, and then post-production, and I was essentially taking care of all of that while also taking care of the needs of my people who were working with me. And so as humans, we have that response where we're not good enough, we're not doing enough, we're not. And as a teenager, a lot of the people on my set were my age, like minded. So I had to be able to find that balance between, you know, being a good friend and being a good boss and not feeling like what I'm saying is too much, I'm being too much. And also, like, my story, um, I doubted that a lot. Like, will people actually watch this? Is this worth putting my time? My casting crew signing up for too much? But there was even a time where I was on set and a lot of the kids, like, were just running around and making TikToks, and I was so frustrated that I couldn't, like, speak. So I just went into the kitchen. I started, like, bawling my eyes out. But then I found, like, some of the girls, they came in, they're like, you're doing enough, you're doing well. And I think just having that support system, like you said, as humans, we are sponges. We take in what is we take in our environment. And so having those people to just back me up and say, like, this is us as a team, like, you're not alone, it really made me push through and be like, what I'm doing is enough. Like, even if people don't watch it, like, we're going to be proud of it as a crew, as a cast, and I am so grateful for all of them. Yeah.
Exactly. That's just real. Wow. Like, just leadership is so hard to balance with friendship because
Mm,
I feel being that you are a director, you have a really high role in this movie because you're creating the movie, you're directing how it goes. And so when you see people, especially your friends, doing things that you don't want them to do, like if, for example, a scene that you might want to perfect, and like people, you don't want to be too demanding, but you want it to be good. And I know we're still in the like idea of like representation and of course leadership. I just want to know like how did you build your leadership skills? Because I know a lot of directors, especially I know people who want to be actors or film directors, they don't know how to like stand up and like, take on that leadership role. So how did you develop that like skill?
I think it's something you really need to teach yourself with time and finding out what you're passionate about. Because if I were to lead a group in, like, a science project, science isn't really my strong area. So I think just knowing that I'm passionate about something and that can be implemented in so many different areas of your life, just knowing that your ideas deserve to be heard and what you have to say. You're never too young, you're never too old, you're not talking too much. You're just, if you have something to say and you have an idea and you have a team, I think just the only thing I can say is go for it and try your best. And having confidence is so much of it. You might have such brilliant ideas and brilliant things to say, but you have that self doubt. So just know that you are enough and what you have to say should be heard. And if you've got people around you that are willing to support you, amazing, but most of the time you won't. Yeah, just know that what you're doing is good.
Definitely. What you said is very true. You have a voice, use it, speak out, and make yourself heard. I feel like a lot of people in this generation, we like to shy away, try to hide, and like be little like wallflowers. But no, at some point in your life, you gotta stand up, take what is yours, and go for your dream. Like, even if people might make fun of you, even if people might
Mm,
discourage you, I say this all the time. If people talk, they have a reason to talk because you're making a difference. You're standing out. You're doing something that people are so interested in. They have to talk about it because, like, who is doing what you're doing? Exactly. So you got to keep going. You have to step up and be a big girl or a big boy and go do it. Stop being afraid. Like, there's nothing wrong. When I started this podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to see it from my school. I'm going to be made fun of. And look at me now. I'm still talking and people are still talking, but I'm still doing my thing and listening to amazing change makers like you all over the world. And so it's just an opportunity to just go for it. But I do want to highlight about media and like you said on representation in movies. And I'm interested to know how important is it to you to see young people, especially those who look like you, represented in film and in media?
oh my god, it is super important to me. Diversity in general, not just through culture, but growing up, this is going to sound really silly, but I thought it was a rule where if you were to act in a movie, you have to straighten your hair. And that's because when I was watching a lot of behind the scenes, like, um, things for Disney Channel, because that's what really got me interested as a really young kid, just like watching the creative process. And I always saw these girls with the most gorgeous curls going into a trailer and like getting it straightened. And I literally thought it was a rule. And I just saw nobody that was like, especially being Lebanese Muslim, I saw nobody of like Arab background, Muslim background. And in the rare occasion they did, they were never main characters and they never were normal. Like they always fed into those harmful stereotypes. And so in our movie, the lead actress is Lebanese and she has an Indian best friend, and the entire cast is so culturally and ethnically diverse, and also in their ability. Everyone has something that makes them special, and I think that has been so limited. We've improved recently, but we still have a long way to go, especially in Australian film and TV. It's so tight knit, and I think that's because we don't have as large of a space as in the US. So hopefully, with my team, and not just my team, but the people that I've seen, the young create, there are so many like underappreciated artists that do such creative things and speak about such important topics that often get overlooked just because, you know, I think in our country it's not something that's super normalized in a way or like common. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's super super important, and it really affects especially young people. Like growing up, I literally saw nobody who was Lebanese or Arab or anything like that. So I hope that there can be a 5-year-old girl who can watch this film and connect and feel like, wow, I'm being seen. I think that would be so beautiful.
I definitely do touch on what you just said about, because it's just in general with film. I feel like film has to have
Yeah.
this certain, and of course it's different from every country, but just coming from the US, Hollywood, they have a certain niche. You said having seen less Lebanese Arabic girls who are not seen on television. It's like there's such limited diversity even on television. Being that we're in 2025, we still have this issue occurring, so I can
Mm.
definitely connect with your story and that like feeling of just being left out on television and not seeing yourself on TV. That's why hopefully in the future you will make a change and I will see more girls, Lebanese girls on television who are the lead actresses, and as well as more diversity. But I do also want to tie in with culture. And so I'm curious, like being that you have a Lebanese background, how does your culture connect with your passion?
So that's really interesting you say that, because growing up, the film industry has been such a like untouchable space. Like my parents, they migrated here from like a war-torn country. So they've given me this opportunity to study and to become the best version of myself. And so, especially because, like, in the film industry, there are a lot of scary instances, especially for young people, where they've been exploited or bad things have happened to them. So, I knew that, convincing my parents was not going to be easy. And acting in general, like, you are forced to step outside your comfort zone, which is amazing to a certain extent until you're bending your morals and your values and your core roots, especially like as a Muslim. Like, or like someone from a different culture that is like religious or has those core values. um but so it's been like such a no space, so I really wanted to change that. So in my film, everyone like was a part of the creative process. If they didn't want to say a certain line, we would improvise it. If they weren't comfortable doing something, we could change it. I think that there is a beauty in stepping outside your comfort zone and challenging stereotypes. However, it gets to a certain extent, especially with me. So I was really grateful to be able to have a part in creating that space for young people to just genuinely feel safe, like doing what they love. And we should feel safe doing what we love as actors and creators. And I've never had a bad experience, but it's still, as parents, you are worried for your kids, especially with the uprise of AI. What can happen to my child online? But hopefully, this space that we've created collectively will challenge that and change that and let kids be themselves and show themselves, um, and feel represented without having to push any moral boundaries.
That's very important that, like you said, social media. And just the internet in general is a very dangerous place. I feel like we've normalized social media to be a safe haven of this and sort, but it's also very dangerous. There's a lot of people on the media, so I can very much understand your parents' perspective.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's very important that we create this safe space. That's why I created my podcast, because I wanted to create a place for youth and just young-minded, driven people who had a dream to share their story. Tell the world their dream, tell the world their ambitions, tell the people what they want for their generation. And so just having this chance to talk to you and just hearing your story, it just makes me reflect on how important it is to create a safe place for young-minded individuals. But I do want to hit a quick little break and just tell the people out here who are watching, please go support Miriam and her short film and also her films as well. I will put her Instagram right over here on the link when Jordan is editing. But please go check her out on Instagram and as well as her short films and also her upcoming film that is about to be. I don't know if you have a release date for it yet. If so.
Um, Not publicly, but we are planning for something early next year or later this year. It's been really difficult because I'm trying to apply for a Guinness World Record and they have such strict guidelines in terms of length, duration, where it can be released. So hopefully after we get all that sorted out, I can tell you a bit more about that.
Definitely. And I will also update my fans as well about it too so they can go check it out. But also go support the podcast, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles. Our Instagram is right here at Pod. Just please help grow it so amazing people like Miriam's and her story can reach several more people all around the world and can inspire more change makers as well. So please hit that subscribe button, go follow us, and go check us out on social media. But going back, movies have a way of touching people's hearts. Trust me, I've watched so many movies that made me cry. If I could count all the movies that made me cry, I've had a lot. I'm curious to know from a very award-winning director from you, does your movie challenge or your movies challenge or redefine the way certain people or stories are usually portrayed?
Yes, definitely. So, um, especially within family dynamics, I think there's this certain like niche or stereotype around teenage girls where like they're always moody or there's something like wrong with them and their emotions are just all over the place. I've seen that far too many times in especially like family movies. Not all, but a lot. And so in my film, it really showcases the ability of young people. So my character in Under Spotlights, Ariana, she lives in a tiny town in a rural part of Australia. And so she has a passion for musical theatre but no creative outlet. And so she decides to make that space if there isn't one for her. She just kind of sees the beauty and importance of, creating. And I think that's been something in the media that's been so untouched on because really the power of youth is so incredible and so special if given the um, correct platform. And so I think there aren't enough movies that properly showcase our ability, and hopefully my film does a bit of justice.
No, yeah, shoot. Well, I'm gonna watch it. When it releases, I will most definitely watch it. And I want to know, do you have any places or platforms that we can see your movies?
Right now, I'm not sure, but I hope that I could be able to distribute it on something like Amazon Prime or Tubi, but I know the whole process is quite lengthy. Hopefully, either of those, but if not, I'm happy to just put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I will. Please, I would love to watch it because I'm just interested to. I just love seeing people in action, especially youth people in action who are doing amazing and just making the space or like spaces that we thought like we could never go into, just be able to be into. I hope that made sense because sometimes you
Yeah,
just talk and like you say stuff and then you're like, what am I saying? No,
I think what
but
you're saying is I get you, and I feel we're so like-minded. Are you born 2009?
yes.
Literally twins. We're literally twins. That yeah,
No. I was born in a really weird year because like we're not yet 2010, but we're still in the double
yeah,
zeros. So I was like, ah, but I like my generation. I love the people who are in it, especially just talking to you. It's like we all relatable somehow. We have like,
yeah.
feelings on some certain stuff, but I do want to go on to about your work and your movies. I know that, like I said before, movies do carry a sense of emotion, and movies, they kind of build like relationships with their viewers and just a sense of relatability and connection. And I'm curious, like, what messages or emotion do you hope audiences take away from your films?
I really hope it encourages people who don't really understand the ability of youth to kind of see how incredible they can be, um, and the power that they do hold. There have been so many instances where it's like you're too young, you don't know what you're talking about. Um, like I've had so many encounters like that where I've wanted to make things happen, but people just won't listen. And, that's fine. I am young and I don't know everything. But also that, like, teenagers are so incredible. And I think working on this film that has that message, that became even more clear to me. Watching how everyone was able to, everyone who was so different, come together and make something so beautiful. Um, I hope that audiences can leave the cinema or turn off the TV thinking that, wow, this is what teenagers can do.
No, I that's very strong because I that's the point of my podcast, to
Yeah.
literally break the stereotypes of Generation Z, because we are not what people say we are. Yes, we are the screenagers with our iPhones and everything like that, or just our cellular devices. But we are more than that. Like you said, the power of youth. Someone should write a poem about that, something like that. But we are so much more. We are capable of doing anything if we have our minds to it and have the resources to it. Yes, of course, like we might not have the money. We might not have all the money, but trust me, we have the passion and we have the ability. So that's just very important. I love how your movies really do want to bring people in and teach people what our generation can do. But I do want to go into your past movie, Neuro Phantom, and I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit about the short film and what it's all about?
So it was actually my first big short film project. Leading up to it, I have only done like smaller things on my iPad and iPhone. Um, but that was definitely the biggest point in my life where I realized I don't think this is just a little hobby. I think this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, and it's something I love so much. And it also got me to connect with so many brilliant and like-minded individuals, because it's so rare to find, especially where I live, like creatives. Like there aren't really any filmmakers in my whole school or anyone who would be interested in that. Obviously, I've got my friends who are willing to support and help no matter what, and a few of the girls in my school actually were in Project Neurophantom. That was the point in my life where I just thought this little idea I had, like at 3 a.m., could actually be something that inspires people. Even though the story is kind of like, it's not super meaningful, it's more like fun. And it's like a thriller, almost horror, but still G rated. Yeah, it just kind of showed me how incredible, you know, our youth is, and how talented the people that I didn't even know um, are. And so working on that film really inspired me to create more and more. And that was the first time I ever won an award for anything to do with film. And so I was so grateful for that. I was actually crying on the car ride home. Um, but yeah, that was just such a great experience, and it's such a fun short film. It's like 7 minutes, it's on YouTube, and I hope people can enjoy watching it as well.
Oh my gosh, that it just warms my heart when you said when you got home you were crying because all your work is paying off. Like literally,
Yeah.
you're doing so much, and when you finally see just the reward for that, it's like, wow, this is something that I know I can do more of if I keep just going. And so I'm so proud of you, even though like I've only talked to you for like 28 minutes. This is like wow, like she's so incredible. So anyone who's watching this, please go support Miriam and her dream, please, because
You are
you are
so
absolutely incredible.
your podcast, like I watched an episode and I was like, wow, this is so like incredible, and like the things you're able to say, it's like I am a yapper. I cannot put my ideas into words, but you're able to so well like properly articulate, you know, like what you need to say and share these incredible stories. Like I watched your latest video with, I think his name is Jamal. That
Yeah.
was, I was like getting emotional because the way you were able to talk about, you know, the impacts of bullying and like how he overcame his struggles, and you saw him so fully. I thought that was so beautiful, and more people should be watching your podcast. I hope that, you know, in the future there will be millions and millions of people watching you, and because you deserve it. You've worked so hard on this, and it's
So
so
much. Thank you so much. My whole idea is just to create a community of change makers. That's why I love the Noodle Pod because it's so me. I'm a foodie. If you did not know, I love to
thank
eat. Like I'm just that type of girl, but I just love to eat food, and I love that I can share my love of food with also my love of talking, my love of singing, my love of writing, just all of that in one podcast. So I just thank you so much for just what you said. It really just warms my heart that I can have opportunity to talk to people all over the world like you. But going back into your short film Neurophantom, was there a specific moment or scene in your film that was especially meaningful to create or perform, or maybe in your upcoming movie that is about to release soon?
I think the most important scenes to film, or the most meaningful, in both Project New Phantom and Under Spotlights, were the scenes where I saw everyone come together. Um, on Project Neurophantom, we have a campfire scene, and this is going to sound really bad. We were filming in my backyard. The whole thing is shot in my backyard. And so it's like connected with someone else. And I thought this was like a park space that leads into my backyard. But apparently it was private property. So on the last minute, we had to change locations. And I watched everyone on set grab sticks and leaves and everything they could to make a makeshift fireplace, because the original one we were going to use, um, like we got kicked off that property because they said, no, I don't want you filming here, which is fair. But I just thought it was so nice how everyone worked together and created something from nothing. And it's not the best campfire, but it was really meaningful and it was really special. And it really showed me how well everyone can work together. Like I was really stressed in that moment, but everyone was just so kind and supportive. So we pushed through.
No, it's like the most beautiful moments is the most unexpected ones. I
Yeah.
feel like that's really it because we really, like everyone said, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
Yeah.
But when something just happens, you're like, oh, okay, so what do I do with what I have now? And you just kind of make this, the process is so beautiful because, like, with an unexpected moment, we learn how to make that moment groundbreaking because think about like you said, like everyone was picking sticks and just wood, everything that they could have because you guys were just going out because it was last minute, and turned out to be, even though not maybe a perfect scene, but you guys, it could have been like a more friendly, just more connective scene that everyone was together, just laughing, enjoying, just making up the moment that they have. Because even though it was kind of ruined from the kicking out, but you guys created that scene, and I bet when I see it, it just was warm and just so nice to be around. So I definitely understand where you're coming from about that. And I feel that's the best part of like about movies, those unexpected scenes where no one knows what's gonna happen, but you guys just figure out a way that last minute, just like it turns out to be the maybe one of the best scenes in the whole movie. But I cannot wait to see it. I'm going to watch it on YouTube now that you told me, because I was like, oh my gosh, where can I find this movie? But now I know. But I am going to go into balance because I feel like that's very important. And how do you balance your vision as a director with your performance as an actress, especially when you're doing both at once?
I do think that that was another massive challenge, but having, like I said, I can't ever take full credit for how a scene looks because it was majority of the actors. There were times on set where we had um, some of the actors, if the crew was feeling tired, to just grab a microphone or grab a light, and it was just like such a collaborative project. And so I think just being able to make those mistakes and realize, okay, I need to prepare. That's a massive thing, preparing and, coming on set with a clear vision. Because the first few days I came on with a script, I'm like, I want to film these scenes and I'm just going to speak with words how I want them to come out. But then, second time around, I realized, because we filmed some of the scenes 5 months apart in Under Spotlights, I was like, I need that vision to be clear.
Right.
So I wrote it down and I printed it out, and then hopefully it was a little bit easier. And surprisingly, we had like 4 hours to spare, so that was a really big relief. We just ate pizza, which was fun. Yeah, I think just if you have a vision, sometimes it's clear to you, but not to the people you're working with. So write it down and really think about it. Put a lot of thought, because really that can change a scene entirely if the whole crew knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Like you said, vision, people might not understand your dream now, but when it starts blossoming, when it starts to grow and become so much alive, they're like, okay, I finally see where she's going with this. Because, yes, being a dreamer should be a job. It should be an occupation because I feel like it takes so much time, so much energy, so much commitment to make anything possible that it just started from your own head. And so the fact that we can create beautiful just memories, beautiful art pieces, just movies and episodes from just doing stuff, just going for what we want, just due to visions is just very important. And I truly do believe that, of course, I pray about my stuff, and I do believe that having a faith or anything above you is always important to carry with you in your heart because it's a lot to handle being a dreamer. It's a lot to handle just being in this generation in general. But the fact that we can sit here and just dream and talk about our dreams and just feel inspired to keep going. Because whenever I hear people, just like hearing you and your story, I'm like, this is what I want to grow up to be. This is what I want to continue because I have so many people around me, so many people like you who are supporting me and who's I'm also supporting as well. We're both supporting each other's dreams. And so we will succeed in general. We will succeed in general because it's just so much. It's just so much talent that cannot be wasted. So much gift and we need to use it well. We have because you know what they say, if you have it now and then you don't use it, then you lose it. That's why we have to use up so much that we have. That's why we're so youthful, so alive. People say Gen Z is so crazy. It's because we have so much energy, so much
Yeah.
time. We have to put it onto something. And by the time we get older, we'll lose it all. But now that we're young, youthful, and alive and breathing, let's put all of that into our dreams, our ambitions, and everything like that, so on. But in wrapping up this interview, I always love to end with a little funny question. And if you've seen from my past interviews, I want to know what is your favorite bowl of noodles?
I have been waiting for this question. Seen something that you posted, and it was, so majority of the people you interview are from the US, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that you guys call pasta noodles. Someone said fettuccine. That's not noodles in Australia. Only noodles like the which is so funny, but I love that. I'm gonna start calling pasta noodles pasta noodles.
Oh,
But I
no.
the carbonara bulldog. Those are my favorites. I like they're so hard to find and they're like really expensive, but they're the best. And I love them cooked in milk, which is kind of random, but it makes it so much more creamy. That's my favorite bowl of noodles.
One question. Is it the pink budok?
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
pink one.
That's because I
It's
was like, wait, milk. I know which one you're talking about, cause, and I will scroll down through all TikTok videos saying just budok noodles. They have the pink ones, the green ones, the yellow ones, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the day that I can go to an Asian market store and buy myself some budok noodles and tteokbokki and bulgogi, I will be
yes.
the happiest little munchkin in this world. But I
And
do have a little debate, and I don't even know what a noodle is anymore. Going from just all over the world, people are saying fettuccine, people saying noodles, noodle pot. I'm just like, what is a noodle? That should be an episode. Like, what is a
that's
noodle? Like,
That
I
shit.
don't know. But oh my goodness, carbonara is, I've never had it before, but it looks amazing. Especially just being that I love eggs and so I love cheese and I just love anything that tastes good. And black pepper. So it's just one on one for me. But I just love food and I'm so glad that I can just share that with everyone who comes on this podcast. But thank you so much, Miriam, for being here. You are astounding. You are very much, I can see an Academy Award in your future because all that you said right now was just so impactful, so amazing. And please don't give up. Just keep going. Whoever keeps saying,
Thank
yo, you should
you.
stop, don't listen to the haters. They will talk, but we will keep going. But thank you so much, though.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. It's my first official interview, so this has been great. I've had so much
Your
fun.
first one? I thought this was like, you've done so many because you did so well. It's like, oh my
No,
gosh.
just a yeah.
Trust me,
Luck
I
to you.
know.
Good luck.
I yap my behind off sometimes too, so I just kind of thank you so much, Miriam. You are astounding and just keep being a dreamer.
Thank you. You too. It's been great.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.